So some of my last two videos might as well have been merged together. I did a video on Bogdanovic and on Crowder, and it looks like, according to Windhorse, they might be involved in a trade for each other.
They are conducting business there in trade negotiations right now. A lot of them are centered around Jae Crowder. Jae Crowder is a player who's available on the market right now. Whether or not there's going to be a deal for him that materializes before now and next week's trade deadline, that we'll have to wait and see.
Are you upset at all about us losing Crowder? Have you come to terms? And how do you feel about maybe getting Clarkson and Bogdanovic in some sort of a deal?
As far as Jae Crowder goes, man, Salty's been a little bit more on a keep Crowder train. Me and you have just said, why are we going to keep a 6'6", 6'5" power forwards playing small ball who jacks up threes and can be hot or cold any other day and isn't like super consistent? We've been on this trend. Like, we've loved Crowder and his defense, but last year his defense kind of lacked and he got murked by Luka. Now that's no shame because everybody gets murked by Luka, but he still got murked by Luka. We talked about how busy Bismack looked better guarding Luka than Jae Crowder did, and Jae Crowder's supposed to be the lockdown guy, right? We have sort of become more bullish on maybe we don't need Jae Crowder. It's time to move him. He's a veteran. Somebody will take that contract and buy him out and he can go wherever he wants to. And it looks like that's going to be maybe the scenario here. You know what I mean? Like maybe, just maybe, we trade him some picks to the Jazz and they give us Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, we'll be on, and they buy him out and then he can be on his way to go wherever the heck he wants to. As you mentioned in the video before about his cryptic tweets about, I don't want to be here or whatever he said. And just 4 hours ago, I mentioned to you in a tweet that he tweeted out a reply to, I can't remember what the Twitter account was, but they mentioned that he has more playoff points than Tracy McGrady and a few other guys, Derrick Rose, in his career than they do. And he said, well, I would give up all those accolades if I can get those 2 rings that Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday stole from me. You know what I mean? So you can tell he's still kind of bitter about some things, or at least it's kind of cryptic in that way.
I think it's less cryptic and more right on the nose. I mean, he's come out in some of these tweets and just flat out said, like, look, get me to Miami specifically. So my question is, do you think Utah is in a position to want Crowder, considering?
Yeah, I think they will. I mentioned before, James Jones does not value draft picks. He's like the Les Snead of the NBA. You know what I mean? Like Les Snead with the Rams doesn't like draft picks. He'll trade them draft picks to get players. Same thing with your boy James Jones. He traded a first to get Landry Shamet, for God's sake. So So like for real, like, so he does not care about picks. So if he can trade Crowder and some draft picks to get Bogdanovic and Clarkson, and that's it, he'll do it. And then all the Jazz have to do is buy out his contract. The Jazz will want the picks. You know what I mean? If they're in rebuild mode, they've already traded Donovan Mitchell for a slew of young players and some picks. Like, if we just say, here's Crowder, here's his contract. I know his contract's not that much. I mean, you never know, but they could be in a position where they just want draft picks. And here you go. Here's Crowder. Here's some draft picks. Buy out Crowder. Crowder can go to Miami. Everybody wins. I can see that situation happening.
In my estimation, man, there's just no way you bring Crowder back. There's no way that you can bring him back with the things that he said. Do you feel like there's any way we can bring him back and try to make things work?
There's always a way, right? Like, the team is the team. Like, it's not like he doesn't not like playing with the players on the team. He just doesn't want to be in Phoenix, it seems like. You know what I mean? He wants to go to Miami. He had a better time with Miami, apparently. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Miami? I mean, have you been to that city? I haven't been. I heard it's great. You know what I mean? And especially during the winter. And, basketball season's in the dead middle of the winter. So especially during the winter, I'm pretty sure it's nice. So, if he wants to go, he wants to go. I don't think he'll damage any relationships within the team, though. I think the team is the team. I just think he just wants to be in Miami. If we do have a scenario where we bring him back for this year, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Like, the dudes like Jae Crowder. Jae Crowder likes the dudes. He's got respect for CP3. He's got respect for Book, the whole squad. So I don't think that would be a scenario where if we keep him, it's just going to damage the psyche of the entire team. No.
This isn't all about weather, Sundo. I mean, he's salty because we dangled him. He got trade dangled. He's not happy about it.
I mean, that's the nature of the business, man. Like, I understand, NBA players are super sensitive when it comes to things like this. They're super petty. That's just the culture of the NBA, but that's also the culture of the business.
He also is upset that apparently he wasn't going to get his starting job back.
I mean, you should have seen that coming, though. You should have known they had a young forward in Cam Johnson that they want, that they like, that they want to see prosper. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, that's just, come on, bro. You're a vet. You should know these things. You should know these things are coming. Like so I'm not going to. There's nothing that I can say about that to where I would feel bad for him or whatever. Like, no, you're a professional. You know, it's the nature of the business. This is the league. It would have been fine. But like I said, I can see a situation where he's absolutely out, and I think he needs to go. And if him and some picks is what it takes for us to get a Clarkson, who I know you like a lot. I know you like him a whole lot. He's a shot creator. He can get his own shot. We like Bogdanovic. We think he could be a good small ball forward. You know, either starting or off the bench, whether we start Cam Johnson and he comes off the bench or vice versa. He can get a bucket. He can shoot way better than Jae Crowder from the 3-point line. Like, he's way more consistent. So I would take it. I would love it. I think that would go miles in helping us.
It might be the first thing that we did positive this offseason. And that's, of course, we got Okogie. We love Okogie. We love Jock Landale. We're excited about some moves that we've made. Not you, Damian Lee. But you know what I'm saying? This feels like a winning move. A move that would translate to more wins during the season if you've got.
It feels like a move that a team would make to strengthen what they believe is a championship roster. You know what I mean? Like, it gives us depth that we trust. Can we just talk about that for a minute? Like, it would be depth that I think James Jones would trust. It'd be depth that Monty would trust. Not to mention, you know, imagine Bogdanovic, Clarkson, Dario coming off the bench, and that's your first. Yeah, that's your first three. Remember, our first three was Campaign, Landry Shamet, you know, and who else? Go ahead and name them. Like, we were not super comfortable with that. Cam Johnson, you know what I mean? Like, Cam Johnson was one that we were comfortable with. But after that, not much. But if I told you, hey, Cam Johnson's starting at the 4, here's coming off the bench: Bogdanovic, Clarkson, Dario, Campaign, Okogie, who we both like and we know he's going to hustle. You go down that list. Bismack Biyombo. That's 10 deep, bro. That is 10 players deep if we do this move and we trade Crowder and some picks and get those two. That's a scenario. We're not saying it's going to happen, but I would love that scenario to happen.
But we've moved past being 10 deep and, oh my gosh, our season is going to be so lit. We're going to win so many games. We've been there, done that. My question is that roster going to help you get to the Western Conference Finals and beat the Warriors or the Grizzlies?
I don't know about beating the Warriors, but that roster being that deep and that consistent would get you deep into the Western playoffs. Well, at least the semis. We're not going to be one and done, you know, or one series and done.
What about after Chris Paul breaks down, which you know is going to happen?
We got Jordan Clarkson. We got Book. We got Campaign. I will trust Jordan Clarkson to be a facilitator over Campaign, obviously, but if that was to happen, I think we would be okay. Especially, I'm gonna be real, man. Some of these moves they made, I feel like are gonna be real sneaky. The Okogie move, the Landale move, I feel like those are two sneaky good moves that people are overlooking big time. And then we kept Biyombo and Dario's coming back. Like, I feel like we made some sneaky good moves, and people are gonna be real surprised. And then if we trade Crowder and end up getting 2 good vets, that's only going to make this team even deeper and even better, in my opinion. What we need is more shot makers, more shot creators, and more consistency. And if we make this move, we will get that.
Well, man, I definitely think we would get consistent shooting from Bogdanovic. Jordan Clarkson's a different story. I love him. I think he's a fun player. I want him on the team. But consistency isn't the word that most people want to use for him. So get ready to get roasted in the comments for that. And I kind of let you take that bullet for me.
Hey, that's okay. But I mean, the consistency obviously is Bogdanovic, not so much Clarkson. If they want to roast in the chat or in the comments, let them roast in the comments.
Tell us what you guys think. Are you excited about Windhorst's revelations? Do you want Bogdanovic and Jordan Clarkson to make their way to the Suns? And are you sad to see Jae Crowder go? Go Suns.
You're